Hi guys, back on camera again, but this time it's for a cooking video. Today I'm going to be getting my meat prepared to make my lasagna for tomorrow's dinner. I'm not going to cook it today. I'm just going to get my meat prepared so I can be ready for tomorrow. And I just came on to show you what I'm going to be using to do this lasagna. And before I start, let me tell all you Italians out there, no, this is not how you make lasagna. This is how I make lasagna. I am a southern girl and this is what I like to eat in my lasagna. So yeah, so don't leave me a comment before you do that. Don't leave me a comment saying that's not how you make lasagna. I know that. Okay, first thing I have here is seasoning salt. That's not going to be for me to season my meat though. It's going to go in a mixture. You'll see when I start it. This is tomato paste, black pepper, parsley, dried parsley flakes, 3 bay leaves, and onion, garlic, but I'm only going to use a couple of cloves there, 2 eggs, and these are not full. These are just half and half left over from when I used it last time. So this is both of them are cottage cheeses, ground beef, oven ready lasagna. It's important that you get the oven ready if you don't want to boil it and have your noodles to be soggy when you bake it. Sharp cheddar, mozzarella, parmesan, and this is some mozzarella that I had left over from some other dish and I had it frozen. Well, I freeze all my cheeses. And stewed tomatoes, tomato sauce, 2 cans of them, and they're 15 ounces. I like a lot of sauce. So I'm going to go off camera, dice my onions, and get my ground beef. Oh, and I'm going to only use half of this, but you can use more. You can adjust anything that you don't want in here. You don't have to put in here, but I'm going to use half of this. If you're going to make more, you can use the whole. And I'm going to go off camera, dice up my onions like I said, put it in my pan to cook it, and I'll be back. And oh, I forgot to tell you, this is kosher salt. But if any of you out there who have bought kosher salt before, you know it comes in a big box, and I always pour it in this little bowl to keep from having to pour that big box when I'm cooking. But let me go off camera, do everything, get everything set up, and I'll be back. Okay, I am back, guys, and here is the ground beef. I've put it into a boiler because I like to do mine this way. I know you're supposed to fry your ground beef in the skillet, but since I'm going to be adding my sauce and everything in there, I do this way, into a pot, a big pot or a boiler. That's what we call it down here in the South. I've sprinkled some onion powder on it. I didn't have that out at first when I was showing you my ingredients, but I decided to sprinkle some of that on there too. And here's some pepper that I'm sprinkling in. You could just sprinkle this to your taste, how you like your stuff seasoned, but be careful not to put as much because Parmesan cheese is going in this, and it is salty. So I sprinkle a little kosher salt over it like that, and I'm just going to turn it on medium, and I'm going to dump in my onions and my garlic. It's going to be the last thing that goes in there, 2 cloves of garlic. It's going to be diced real fine, and it's going to go in last at the end. So I'm going to do that and come back and show you what I do next. Okay guys, here's the onions that I diced up. They're going to be going in. As you can see, it is frying right now, and I'm going to dump in these onions and let them go and let my meat turn brown. Then I'll go in with my diced garlic, 2 cloves, okay, then all I do is just brown it together, and then once it's brown all the way, then my garlic cloves goes in, and they're the last thing to go in there. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I will be back once I just came back on to show you what it was doing now, and show you that this is all the garlic I have. It was a kind of medium-sized clove and a small clove, but you can adjust it. As I said, if you don't like garlic, don't put this in. If you like more garlic, put more. If you like more onions than I have in here right now, put more. If not, put less. That's what cooking is. You just tweak it and make it your own. Okay, when I come back next time, it's going to be ready to drain, and I will drain it, then show you the next step. Okay, I'm back. It has been drained, and Here goes my 1 can of tomato sauce, goes in there. Those are the diced tomato, the sliced stewed tomatoes, I'm sorry. And I'm going to put in half of this Hunt's tomato paste, and then I stir it all up. Throw in my bay leaves, let it cook on the stove uncovered for about 45 minutes until it gets thick, and it's on medium heat. And after I do that, then I'll be ready to put it up for tomorrow, to put together my lasagna tomorrow evening. I didn't think I was coming back on before tomorrow, but I came back on because I forgot to let you know that I had to break up these stewed tomatoes. If you can see, they're kind of big, and I just take my wooden spoon and I break them up, or you can dice them on a cutting board. Sometimes I do that too before I dump them in here. And I thought I wasn't gonna need any more sauce but that 1 can, but to me it looks like I'm gonna need some more because I like mine to have a lot of sauce to it. So I opened that 2nd can and I'm gonna pour about half. And if I think I need more, I may add more once it starts cooking. But as you can see, it's kind of saucy like I like it. And you let it cook for about 35 to 45 minutes and let it get really thick. Not where it's no liquid left on it, but till it thickens up some. About 35-45 minutes, and then you taste it for seasoning and see if it's salty enough, or if you need to add more pepper, and then you just let it sit for when you get ready to put your dish together. Okay, I will be back on tomorrow when I get ready to put this dish together. Hello guys, today is Sunday, September the 7th, and I'm back getting ready to put this lasagna dish together. Before I do though, let me give you a tip. If you use bay leaves and other seasonings and stuff like that, you know that they are pretty pricey. I found these bay leaves right here on the Hispanic aisle in Walmart, 97 cents, and you see how many are in here. And I was paying as much as $3.84 and up for a small bottle of bay leaves with just only a few in there. So if you have an area like that in your grocery store, Hispanic section, go over there. They have plenty of seasonings, bay leaves, all kinds of great deals on seasonings that you can find. Just go over there and check it out, and you can save a little money that way. Right here I have 2 eggs that I've beaten up. And here is my glass 9x13 dish, and this is what the meat looks like after I simmered it on the stove for 35 to 45 minutes. And I have some Pam spray out and all of my cheeses, and I'm getting ready to put the dish together, so stay tuned for that. Okay, here's my cottage cheese, and these are my 2 eggs. I'm gonna dump my cottage cheese in here like that. And now I'm putting in some black pepper and a little bit of seasoning salt, but not too much, because as I said before, Parmesan cheese is going to be going in this mixture, and Parmesan cheese is salty. Here's Parmesan cheese. I'm putting about half a cup to a cup in here. I'm estimating right now. And all you do is stir it like this, and this is going to be where you go into your layering phase when you layer your lasagna noodles and your meat sauce. When I get this mixed up, I'll be back. Okay, I had to put another beaten egg in there because it wasn't as loose as I would like it to be. So I put one more beaten large egg in there. And now I'm going to be adding in some dried parsley flakes. Just to your taste, how much you feel like you want or don't want. If you don't want this, you don't have to put it in there at all. Or you could just get the fresh kind and chop it up on the cutting board and put it in there. It tastes better with fresh. That just gives it a color and a little flavor too. Now you see that's what it looks like once you mix it all up. Now I'm going to spray my glass dish with this Pam so that it won't stick. And the first thing that goes in here is going to be the meat sauce. You put a little bit of the meat sauce in the bottom of the dish. You put it on the dish, you don't have to put it over there. Put a little meat sauce in the bottom of the dish like this. And remember, we had the bay leaves in this sauce, so if you run across your bay leaves, make sure that you know how many you had in there so you can pick them out and won't leave it in your dish. Now we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and sometimes I like to do the end so that this part won't be left off, so I break it like that so it'll fit, and I put that in there like that, and then goes in this cottage cheese mixture. Put that on there like that. My children do not like ricotta cheese. I've tried it before. That's what normally goes in lasagna, but they don't like ricotta cheese, and neither do I. So that's why I started with cream cheese using that. But then when I found out that I could use cottage cheese, that tastes better to me. So that's what I've been doing ever since. We had this piece of mozzarella and cheddar cheese left over last night, where we had a pizza that we made and we didn't use it all. So I'm going to use this first, and then I'll start with my other. Put that, take that, sprinkle that, and yes, make sure you wash your hands before. Sprinkle as much as you like or as little as you like. It's up to you. We like cheese in this house, so we do a lot of cheese. I'm going to put a little bit of mozzarella on there, just because. Now I put in meat. And that's what you do. You keep going all the way with your layering until you reach the top, or until you run out of noodles, whichever one you do. And this time, since we laid our noodles this way, we're going to lay our noodles the opposite direction this time, like that. That makes it hold together better. And then I'm going to go in again with this, and then the cheeses, and then the sauce the same way I just did. And when I finish layering it, I'll come back and let you see what it looks like. Okay guys, this is what it's supposed to look like after you finish. You're supposed to end with sauce on top. And at the end, I almost ran out of sauce. I knew I was going to run out of sauce, so I added a little bit of this tomato sauce. I always keep these handy in case I'm almost about to run out. So I added that with the meat once I saw I was getting low, and then I finished the top of my lasagna. Now the only thing I do is cover it with some aluminum foil. I have my oven preheated already on 350, and I sit it on a pan like this in case it leaks out. It won't mess up the oven. And I bake it for about maybe 50 minutes to an hour. Then I'll check on it, and I'll be back once I check on it. Okay guys, the timer has gone off, and I'm going to check now. It's been about 50 to 45 minutes, and I'm going to see what it looks like. As you can see, it's starting to make liquid, like it's cooking, but it's still very hard. The noodles are hard, so I'm gonna go in maybe about 30 more minutes and then come back and check on it. I'm gonna leave it covered and then I'll come back and check on it. At the beginning of the video, I said that I was going to put a can and a half of the tomato sauce, of the 2 15-ounce tomato sauce. I did end up going back and putting that other half in there, and I ended up putting that full can of tomato paste in there. And then at the end, when I almost ran out, I ended up putting a half of a small can of tomato sauce in there too. So total, I used 2 15-ounce cans of tomato sauce, a full can of tomato paste, and then a half of a small tomato sauce. I just want to make sure I clear that up. Okay guys, I'm checking on this lasagna again. Let's see what it looks like now. It hasn't been the full 35 minutes, but I'm just checking to see what it looks like. Now it's pretty much like I want it. The noodles are done. So now I'm just going to sprinkle some mozzarella and cheddar mix across this and just let it melt on. Turn the broiler on and let it melt with the oven door cracked. And then I'll come back and let you see what it looks like. So now I'm just going to, like I said, spread the cheese across it, mix the cheddar. I have a package of cheddar and a package of mozzarella. I'm going to mix the two and spread them across here and let it bake, well, broil with the oven door cracked slightly, and stand and watch it while the cheese melts and browns around the edges, and I'll be back. Okay, as you can see, I have the oven door cracked and it's baking. It's been going now about four minutes, well, broiling about 4 minutes, and as you can see, it's melting. The cheese has melted, but I want it to get a little brown around the edges so it'll just look better for presentation. Okay, I'm gonna let it go a little while longer and I will be back. Here's the finished product. Yummy. Like I said, I just sprinkled some mozzarella, then I had a package of cheddar. I sprinkled a little bit of cheddar on there too. I didn't use a full bag. I just used what I can, just enough to cover the top. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit and cool before I dig into it, and I'm gonna make a few breadsticks, and then that's what's gonna go with this, and I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm gonna get a piece of this lasagna out so I can show you what it looks like. As you can see, it's firm, the noodles are not too soft, and it makes a perfect little shape. And the cheese has melted and it's brown around the edge. That's it guys. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video. And this is, oh yeah, and this is what I cooked to go with it: a piece of garlic bread. And these are the kind of garlic breadsticks that I use. My children only like this kind. And you just cook it according to the instructions on the box. That's it guys. Thanks for watching.